Hello, little friends. Welcome to Ella's Animal Wonderland. Today, it's a story of the humble bee who ruled the garden. There is a beautiful garden filled with colorful flowers and buzzing insects. And then, one day, a small humble bee decided to explore the garden and see what adventures awaited. The humble bee flew from flower to flower, collecting nectar and spreading pollen as it went along. Suddenly, it stumbled upon a tiny crown hidden among the petals of a blooming rose. Intrigued, the humble bee placed the crown atop its head and felt a surge of power. Astonishingly, the other insects in the garden started to bow down before the humble bee. The humble bee had unwittingly become the ruler of the garden. With newfound responsibility, the humble bee decided to use its power for good and bring harmony to the garden. It appointed a ladybird as its trusted advisor and sought advice on how to rule wisely. Together, they ensured that every insect's voice was heard and every flower was cared for. The humble bee introduced new rules for insects to follow, such as pollinating more flowers and avoiding harmful behavior. These rules led to a more vibrant and flourishing garden that attracted butterflies and birds from far and wide. Word of the humble bee's wise rule reached neighboring gardens, inspiring other insects to do their part too. However, not all insects were happy with the humble bee's rule, particularly a mischievous caterpillar named Charlie, who wanted all the nectar for himself. Charlie began to plot ways to overthrow the humble bee and take control of the garden. But the humble bee's loyal subjects rallied together and thwarted Charlie's plans at every turn. Determined not to give up, Charlie enlisted the help of some spiders who wove a web around the humble bee while it was resting on a sunflower. Luckily, the ladybird flew to the rescue, mobilizing an army of beetles that broke through the spider's web and saved the humble bee in the nick of time. From that day forward, the humble bee's rule was unchallenged, and peace and prosperity reigned in the garden. And so, the humble bee continued to rule with kindness, ensuring that all creatures big and small could thrive in its beautiful garden.